My daughter used to ask why about everything. Why is the sky blue? Why do birds fly? Why does water feel wet? She was endlessly curious and full of wonder. Then, somewhere around age 4, the questions stopped. She became passive, less engaged, and less interested in learning. I thought it was just a phase, but a child psychologist told me something that broke my heart. She said that curiosity is the natural state of childhood, and when it disappears, it's usually because adults have inadvertently extinguished it. I was doing 6 small things every day that were slowly killing my daughter's natural love of learning, and I had no idea. The 4th behavior shocked me because it's something we all do, thinking we're being helpful. If you want to raise a child who's genuinely curious, engaged, and loves learning, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because these 6 behaviors could be quietly extinguishing your child's natural curiosity without you even realizing it. Let me start by explaining why curiosity matters so much, because it's not just about being interested in things. Research shows that curious children become better learners, better problem solvers, more creative thinkers, and more resilient adults. Curiosity is the engine that drives all learning. When a child is curious, they're motivated from the inside to explore, ask questions, and figure things out. But when curiosity is extinguished, learning becomes a chore instead of a joy, and that affects their entire educational trajectory and relationship with knowledge. The first behavior I was doing that killed curiosity was dismissing or shutting down questions. My daughter would ask me something, usually at an inconvenient time, and I'd respond with short, dismissive answers. I don't know, go ask your dad. Not right now, I'm busy. That's just how it is. Or I'd give a quick surface answer without engaging with her curiosity. Every time I did this, I sent the message that her questions weren't important, that curiosity was an inconvenience. Over time, she stopped asking because she'd learned that asking led to dismissal. The fix is treating every question as an opportunity for connection and exploration, even when it's inconvenient. When she asks why the sky is blue, instead of giving a quick scientific answer or brushing it off, I engage with her thinking. That's such a great question. What do you think? Why do you think it might be blue? This validates her curiosity and turns the question into a conversation. If I genuinely don't know the answer, I say, I don't know, but that's a fascinating question. Should we look it up together? Now, questions become adventures we take together instead of interruptions as I shut down. The second behavior is over-explaining and giving too much information too quickly. But when children ask questions, they're not looking for a college lecture. They're exploring their thoughts and seeking just enough information to satisfy their current level of understanding. When I give long, complex explanations, my daughter's eyes would glaze over and she'd lose interest. I was overwhelming her curiosity instead of feeding it. The fix is giving just enough information and then pausing to see if they want more. Answer briefly and simply, then ask, does that answer your question, or do you want to know more? This keeps them in the driver's seat of their learning. They're pursuing their curiosity at their own pace, not being force-fed information that's beyond their interest or understanding. The third behavior is solving every problem for them instead of letting them wonder and figure things out. My daughter would encounter something challenging. A toy that didn't work how she expected, a puzzle she couldn't solve, something she didn't understand. And I'd immediately jump in to fix it, explain it, or solve it for her. I thought I was being helpful, but what I was actually doing was robbing her of the opportunity to sit with curiosity, to wonder, to try different approaches, to experience the satisfaction of figuring something out herself. The fix is sitting with their struggle and wondering alongside them instead of immediately providing solutions. When she's frustrated with something, instead of fixing it, I say, that is tricky. What have you tried so far? I'm offering support and encouraging her thinking without taking over. This builds tolerance for not knowing, which is essential for curiosity. If you're comfortable not knowing and exploring, you stay curious. If you need immediate answers to everything, curiosity dies. If you want to raise genuinely curious, creative thinkers, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for more research-backed parenting strategies. The fourth behavior, and this is the one that shocked me, is praising intelligence instead of praising curiosity. I would say things like, you're so smart, or you figured that out so quickly, you're brilliant. When children are praised for being smart, they become risk-averse. They only want to do things they're already good at because failure would threaten their smart identity. But when you praise curiosity and effort, they become willing to explore and risk not knowing. Now, instead of "you're so smart," I say, "I love how curious you are," or "you asked such interesting questions today," or "I can tell you're really thinking deeply about this." I'm praising the process of being curious, not the outcome of getting something right. This makes her willing to explore areas where she might not immediately succeed because the value is in the curiosity itself, not in being right. Comment below and tell me which of these behaviors you recognize in yourself. No judgment, just awareness. The fifth behavior is controlling their exploration and directing their play. I used to guide my daughter's play constantly. Instead of letting her explore how blocks worked, I'd show her how to build a tower the right way. Instead of letting her experiment with art supplies, I'd direct her toward making recognizable things. Instead of following her interests, I'd steer her toward what I thought she should be learning. Every time I directed instead of followed, I communicated that there was a right way to explore and that my way was better than hers. This killed her intrinsic motivation to explore and discover. The fix is stepping back and following their lead during play and exploration. I provide materials and a safe environment, but I let her decide what to investigate and how. If she wants to use blocks to make a road instead of a tower, perfect. If she wants to mix all the paint colors into brown mud, that's her experiment. If she's interested in bugs this week and dinosaurs the next, I follow her interests instead of pushing my agenda. This autonomy feeds curiosity because she's pursuing what genuinely interests her, not performing for my approval. The sixth behavior is creating a culture of right and wrong answers instead of a culture of exploration. Every time my daughter would guess at something or offer an idea, I'd immediately correct her if she was wrong. That's not quite right. Actually, it's this way. I thought I was teaching her, but what I was actually doing was making her afraid to guess, to hypothesize, to explore ideas. She became focused on being right instead of being curious. The fix is celebrating good thinking and interesting ideas, whether they're right or wrong. When she offers an idea, I respond with, "That's interesting thinking. Tell me more about why you think that." Or, "That's one possibility. What else could it be?" Or when she gets something wrong, I say, "That was a good guess based on what you knew." Now we have learned something new. This creates safety to explore ideas without fear of being wrong, and that safety is where curiosity thrives. Here's what happened in our home after I consciously changed these 6 behaviors for 2 months. My daughter's questions came back with a vengeance. She asks why constantly again, and instead of being annoyed, I'm thrilled because it means her curiosity is alive. She's willing to try things she might fail at because the process matters more than being right. She explores materials and ideas in creative ways I never would have thought of because I'm not directing her anymore. She's become genuinely engaged with learning again instead of just complying with educational activities. But beyond the observable changes in her behavior, I can see a shift in how she sees herself. She sees herself as a thinker, an explorer, someone whose questions and ideas matter. That identity as a curious person will serve her for her entire life, in school, in her career, in her relationships, and in how she approaches challenges and opportunities. These 6 behaviors seem small, but their impact compounds over time. Every dismissed question, every over-explanation, every solved problem, every praise for being smart instead of being curious, every directed play session, every focus on right answers. They all send tiny messages that add up to either nurturing curiosity or extinguishing it. The good news is that the opposite is also true. Every time you engage with a question, let them struggle and wonder, praise their curiosity, follow their lead, and celebrate exploration over correct answers. You're building a foundation of lifelong love of learning. If this video made you rethink how you respond to your child's curiosity, please share it with another parent. Curiosity is too important to accidentally extinguish. Drop a comment and tell me which behavior you're going to change first, or share how you've seen curiosity flourish or diminish in your own child. And subscribe because we're building a community of parents who understand that our job isn't to fill our children with knowledge. It's to nurture their natural desire to learn, explore, and discover. Thank you for being here and for caring about keeping your child's curiosity alive.